Who is it?
It's me, Dave. Open up, man. I got the stuff.
Who is it?
It's me, Dave, man. Open up. I got the stuff.
Who?
It's Dave, man. Open up. I think the cops saw me come in here.
Who is it?
It's Dave, man. Will you open up? I got the stuff with me.
Who?
Dave, man. Open up.
Dave?
Yeah, Dave. Come on, man. Open up. I think the cops saw me.
Dave's not here.
Yay.
Or you don't have to. You don't have to like.
Can I go in the other
direction?
We talked
If you
about that in
want.
the last one too.
Did
Just
we?
Mexican people are funny.
Well, yeah.
What was the last one you did again?
We just did instant record collection
Oh, okay.
last week.
Last week we did that one. That was funny.
Did it? How time is different now.
Wow.
Yeah. All right. Hey, everybody. Comedy on Vinyl. Next episode, we're doing Cheech and Chong's greatest hit. Now, we could do a regular Cheech and Chong album, which we already did, Big Bamboo. I know it seems kind of like we're cheating because it wasn't that long ago.
Whoosh.
Yep. And Jeremy is here. Guskin. Jeremy.
Hello.
And Dan Gomiller.
Hello.
And what's your name?
Mike.
Mike. Mike is here as well.
Michael Worden.
Michael Worden.
Yes.
Is,
Hi.
Have we... Okay. All right. Yeah, okay, so Mike's here. And, yeah, we're doing this because Dan and I kind of became best friends over this album.
Yeah.
And Jeremy lived in New York City at the time, and we didn't know each other.
Yeah.
So...
I lived in New York too. We all lived in the state of New York.
That's
at the
so
time
weird.
that you guys were listening to this album.
That's
Who
so
does
weird.
That is
Wow.
That is a weird,
Wow.
strange world we live in.
Mm-hmm.
Kooky and crazy, one might say.
Here's to give you an idea of... I loved Cheech and Chong when I first heard them. I've never, to this day, smoked a marijuana joint.
Me neither.
A joint? Did you just smoke out of a bowl?
Yes.
Bong?
Yeah, no.
Just specifically
Specifically
joint.
never joined. I have never smoked out of a marijuana pipe or a tobacco pipe with marijuana in it. But
This
I
is
found
gonna
it...
take a long time.
I've never done LSD. Mescaline.
Do they do a lot of that on the album? 'Cause
No.
it's just marijuana.
No, I
that
just wanted to
see
go
on
over all the
cover.
drugs I haven't done.
Oh, all right.
That was what I thought this was.
Heroin?
Meth?
Never done meth. No, but the cover, the album is
He
entitled...
dodged your heroin question.
Anyway, Cheech and Chong's greatest hit. How many years did it take me before I understood that was a reference to taking a hit from a joint?
Oh, way
Awesome.
too long.
Pathetic.
Straight edge.
Really sad. Dan knew because Dan was probably around pot since
I didn't get it either
You
for
didn't
a
get it?
while. No.
You went picking mushrooms with your dad when you were a
Doesn't mean I
child.
understand what a hit is.
Okay. Were you taking mushrooms as a child? I always wanted to ask that.
No.
Oh.
I didn't know. You know, the dad just dried them out, and that was like the last time. You know, I'm like, I don't know, unless we put them on pizza
He
or
didn't,
something.
didn't make special pizza for you guys.
No, he never did.
Alright, that's fine.
That would have been a hell of a thing, though.
Yeah, it would have been a hell of a thing. So that's how Dan and I discovered it. Dan's dad had a tape, and we listened to it a lot.
Over and over
Upstate New York.
again.
And I don't know why this appealed to us, though, particularly. I guess it's just funny. I guess
Well, it's
something our parents loved.
yeah, and on top of that, like, you know, since it's, you know, all talking about drugs, we're like, look what we're doing. We're listening
Right.
to drug comedy because we're
Yeah.
rebels.
Yeah. But we wouldn't touch a... Yeah.
Oh.
We were listening to it before everybody else in town was, so that made us feel special.
Yes.
So when the kids are like, oh, you guys heard Cheech and Chong? We're like, yeah. But when I was 13, try.
And I can't grammar right.
Yep. I can't. What about this guy, Jeremy Guskin?
What?
The first time...
I wasn't there when you guys...
You weren't? Fuck, see? Oh, you
Oh,
were
we
in
went
the
through
city.
this. We went
Right,
through
you were in the
this.
city.
I wasn't there.
I guess you don't really need to be here.
No, I mean, the first one I ever heard was actually just the Cheech and Chong album was the first one, and then the Big Bamboo one, because
Yeah.
somebody actually showed me the album with the big rolling paper.
Right.
And again, when I saw it, I was very much in the same boat as you, whereas I didn't understand anything about drug reference or anything else.
Sure.
I was like, oh, tissues. Isn't
Even
that
better.
nice? It's an album, and if I get a cold, or if I have sticky fingers and I don't want to get it on the vinyl, it's there. And I took it out, and I was like, there's only one. What a chip. And no, I didn't know. I mean, I understood drug references in the loosest possible sense. Like
Right.
honestly, to look at like this album cover, anyone with the joints on them, at at that age, I mean, even like through most of high school, I would have been like, interesting that they would want to kiss a tampon. Because that's about as close as anything in my sphere was to that. Because a cigarette had a filter and was held by a movie star with a drink or whatever it was.
Right.
This is different.
So he watched W.C. Fields movies while you're listening to
Literally.
Cheech and Chong.
Yeah, I probably could quote the bank dick before I could quote any of this. So that's
Oh shit! I just still don't know what a lid is. Can anybody explain that to me?
a lid.
Yeah.
If you want, like if you're boiling water, it makes the water in the pot boil faster if you put a lid on it.
That makes sense.
You can call it a cover. Does that make it easier?
A cover.
In hip hop culture, it's like a baseball cap.
Yeah.
This is my lid,
Right.
a lid
That
on
makes sense now with the smoking. Of
A lid? I have, to be honest with you, I have no idea.
I don't.
It's like, I think it's one of those stupid drug references that no one ever did. It's like, oh, marijuana, also known as Mary Jane.
Right.
Not by fucking anybody who ever smoked it. I mean, like, even George Carlin, again, does that whole bit. He's like, I don't know what the hell, you just feed them false, information. It's like, it's also known as a California cheeseburger.
Yeah, right.
I hated that growing up because they were always telling you with marijuana in high school, like, don't do it. They're going to offer it to you. No, they weren't going to offer it. You had to go and fucking buy it.
Yeah, you had to really
You take it for free.
I always wanted to tell someone that they were a turkey.
I know.
After they called me a chicken.
I know, and we never got the
Doesn't work
opportunity.
that way.
I felt like the turtles gypped me on that one.
Because normally what it is it's not that scenario. It's like the uncool kid going by the cool guy, and he's like, "Hey man, want to try some weed?" Like, no way, man, that's for losers. Because that doesn't happen.
No.
It's more like the cool kid sees the nerdo walking by and punches him.
Yep.
And then goes behind the building and smokes up and giggles about it.
And doesn't want to share with anyone because he's only got the one. And, so that just makes sense, But then you get high with your friend, you're like, I punched the shit out of that nerd.
You see that? That was awesome.
I'm going to get him again, remind me.
But then the cheerleader blows him, and he gives her some.
Man, that's just dark. Why would you go there? We're doing a nice, wholesome
Mike.
fantasy
It's
sequence.
autobiographical.
Really?
Now you made me sad.
I can't say too much though. I do now drink semi for a living, so
That's alright. Drinking's
fine.
okay. It's legal.
it is legal.
And so is smoking pot if you're in
All the
Southern
greatest
California.
writers died drinking, so
Right,
you got that.
but I act while drinking. Well, I read lines while drinking.
That's reading and drinking is...
I impress.
that's
I do
not bad.
impressions while drinking. I play booger while drinking.
Good.
Whatever works for you, man.
All right, whatever works for you, man.
But I didn't know. I mean, like, as far as the drug references, I think when I was younger it was the same thing. It was just kind of hip to know what it was, even though I didn't know anything about it.
Yeah, I think for the longest time, everything that Jay and I knew about drugs were gleaned from context from this album.
Yeah.
Sure, yeah. I think
This
you're
is
right.
basically how we learned what drugs were.
It's a great cheat sheet. It's great. The movies in this were great. Because, I mean, I didn't know anything about marijuana until I started watching
You
Cheech
know,
Chong
I
movies.
am not a big fan of the movies.
No.
But I mean, even if you like them or don't, I just didn't know anything about it.
No, it's true, but I just I haven't really paid much attention to them. They always bored me.
I do think you need to be high to watch the movies. You don't need to listen to this stuff.
Although
I don't think that's entirely true.
No,
and again, I am
don't
not, and again, this is kind of I thought I was going to be like the horrible pessimist in the group on this one, but I'm not a big fan of
I don't understand that reference. Yeah, I don't get that reference.
No, because ours go.
I don't understand that reference. You look like you're giving a You really look like you're giving.
I think that's why they invented the bong, so they can look like they're giving blowjobs while they're.
Well, you were tickling the bottom of it.
Well, I wasn't
I don't
adjusting.
think you have to do that when you're
That
actually
was the-
smoking.
I know. Why are you playing with the ball?
I think you can just hold it in one hand.
I was pantomiming the bubbles.
Oh.
Playing with the ball.
These are a gentle massage, Dan. It was very caring. I don't.
And this is how I move it back and forth.
It's weird because that's also the sound you make. Terrible. This is awful.
This is the best thing ever.
Yeah, so I mean, what I was basically getting to is I hate lowbrow humor.
Right.
No, I mean, I've just never been a fan. I've never been a fan of drug humor. To be
Me
totally
neither.
honest with you. I'm not. I think it's really limited, and it's one of the things I actually thought I was not going to like about Mitch Hedberg when I first started listening, because I thought it was all going to be just smoking references
and heroin references,
and I thought that was the character he was playing,
right?
But it's you know, and I figured out it's just a different type of Stephen Wright thing,
exactly.
But even you know, Half-Baked. I don't think it's a great movie because again, it's about smoking pot, and yes, it has some funny stuff in it. But you know, it's one reason why I can't read High Times.
Right.
It's just like honestly, how much of this?
Right.
I mean,
right. It'd be like if there's a magazine called Kick in the Balls. Like, it's an element that can make a good joke.
Okay, well,
but
you
don't need it.
Go there.
Where were you going to go?
I was going to go more like Budweiser, the magazine.
That's just as good, but Kick in the Balls for me.
Well, I think Kick in the Balls is funny, whereas Budweiser
is
not.
It is true. That is very true.
Here he is, all the way from Harvard, Bob Bitchin. Well, it's really great to have you on the show tonight, Bob. How you doing?
Bitchin'.
Well, isn't that far out and solid and right on, Bob? Tell us, Bob, here's the question I ask of all our contestants. What made you drop out?
Well, a lot of people think it was the 400 acid trips they took, you know.
Uh-huh, but what was it really, Bob?
One day I played Black Sabbath at 78 speed, man.
And then what happened?
I saw God.
You saw God. Well, that sounds like true enlightenment to me, Bob. Tell us, Bob, what have you been doing with all those degrees? I noticed you had a Ph.D., an M.A., and a B.A. What have you been doing with all that knowledge?
Making candles, man.
Making candles. Well, that sounds creative, Bob. What kind of candles are they?
Oh, they're really neat table candles, you know.
Table candles?
Yeah, you pour wax on a table.
Uh-huh.
And you set it on fire, man.
Well, that sounds like a hot item, Bob. Okay, you ready to play our game?
Yeah, man.
Okay, here we go. Now, you know the rules. You get fronted with a stash of 50 keys, and you can wager part of them or just some of them on any one of our tests.
50 keys?
50 keys.
Can I quit now?
But to get serious, these guys...
let's do it.
Don't start now.
The thing about his prison sentence was... No, these guys actually... What they did with their comedy was bring the counterculture, which was... You know, they didn't do it, but they made it even more prevalent to mainstream. That, you know, bringing marijuana... And drug references to the mainstream made people go, you know, it's not that big of a deal, especially since these guys are doing it, and they're funny. They're laughing about it. You know, this is humorous. And so they had a lot to do with that.
Yeah, and that Dave sketch is just... It's
Yeah.
brilliant. You know, it's the classic. You know?
It does help, too, like, that not every sketch is about drugs.
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah.
Drugs are a part of the sketch, but it's not always, hey, man, I'm smoking up.
Right. No.
You know, it's just like, it's also, they do a good job of mocking their own culture. Sure. I was going to say, one thing I don't necessarily like the movies, but one thing I do like about, you might know which movie it is, I don't remember which one it is, but that
Stacy Keach. Isn't he in one of them?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
But with like the detective that's looking for them, and he starts smoking up secretly.
Stacy Keach. He's smoking the...
He turns into like an iguana.
Because it's experimental marijuana, right.
And I just think it's funny because they're making fun. You're like, smoke marijuana, you turn into a lizard. That's how it works. Science.
What could be more appropriate, make more sense? Smoke marijuana, turn into a lizard.
Science.
It's true.
You have to.
I once did acid, and my penis turned into a dragon, and I pissed on the walls. True story. True story.
The pissing on the walls or your penis turning into a dragon? Because I'm going to bet the second part's true.
What happened was I wouldn't let my friend
that.
leave our living room for about 6 hours because I was afraid we'd get lost in my own house. And so he finally did. We went to the bathroom, and it started just like moving around, and I couldn't control it, so I was just peeing everywhere. That was a fun night.
I believe it.
That's
sounds like a fun cleanup the next day, isn't it?
Yeah, it was.
See, that's an instance where the drug itself was not the humor; it was the flipping around of your penis.
Yeah, well, and the other people
like
weren't on acid either, so that
Right.
made it even more humorous for them.
Something to do it on your own.
Yeah. So Dan's given a blowjob. Mike's penis is turned into a dragon.
Well, I just
Jeremy?
transitioned from the lizard.
I'm just kind of enjoying the menagerie.
I think this is one of those things where Dan and I were possibly memorizing this before we were memorizing Monty Python.
We were.
Wow.
We were listening to this, and I hadn't even seen Holy Grail yet.
Oh, really?
I think you're right. Yeah, because like we were talking about it earlier, that you and I saw that at the Unitarian Church. Maybe not for the first time. That's the first time we watched it. Jeremy really likes the fact that we saw it at a Unitarian Church.
Well, I had been on TV before, but I never finished it because
Right.
I was too young to really be interested in it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So I think that's really the first time I watched it.
Cheech has a lot more range in voices than I remember. Tommy Chong, on the other hand, does not.
He's always only had the one voice.
That's why his acting career took off, like Nash Bridges.
Yeah.
That's why.
God damn it, Mike.
Did you scoff at Cheech?
Lion King, Nash Bridges.
He tours now with his wife.
What?
Oh, really?
Doing what?
They sing. You know, because
Are you kidding me?
All the songs. I mean, he wrote pretty much.
Well, no,
all.
he's a good singer. Don't get me wrong. He's a good writer. But really?
Yeah,
He did kill to see that.
Well, like apparently it's very serious and like and it's basically her music, but then they'll just bust out and like one of his old
That's amazing.
Cheech Chong songs.
One of them, I think it was Cheech, was also at one point did a tour, but Chong didn't want to be involved,
Yeah.
so they got someone else to play Chong.
Really?
Well, are you sure that's not just an episode of The Simpsons?
No,
You're not sure?
I'm not sure.
Because that is a Simpsons episode.
That's true. Maybe I'm thinking of that.
Because I don't think that actually happened.
Well, wait, no, but okay. But remember the time that crazy billionaire blocked out the sun?
I don't think that happened.
Are you
either.
sure?
Do you remember the time all
Hey,
of
but
those
this is
rabbits
everything, so
tried to get to that one clearing? I'm trying to do Watership Down, and nobody's going to come with me.
Now you're just being ridiculous and you're retarded.
Sorry, that's not a pop
pushing
culture
it too
reference. You
far.
just went
That's
beyond.
not pop culture.
You just
at
went
all.
beyond.
Remember when my sponge put on pants? Dance for the starfish.
That I do recall.
Now he's joined the menagerie.
Thank you.
Yes.
And then Mike's dragon burned it while I played with his testicles.
It's weird.
Science!
It's actually blue contoured sponge.
I'm actually the opposite, coming to Cheech and Chong stuff that I never did drugs or anything through high school. And then in college, I was...
elementary school.
Yes. Elementary school when I got
Shitty mess.
That's when I understood it. That's when I got what they were saying, and it became
It spoke to you, is what you're
it
saying.
became a lot funnier than... Yeah, that's just...
Did you smoke after you drank?
I forgot my
Did you
train
drink
of
first?
thought.
I'm sorry.
Is that where I was going?
good.
Dave's not here, man.
No, mostly acid. I had a pretty nice Ritalin addiction for a while. Yeah, that was fun.
Wow.
Yeah, that was...
None of this?
Oh, yeah, that. Yeah.
I like how marijuana doesn't even register anymore.
It was gateway, just it got there,
Really? Because
You are now giving teeth to Dare.
I mean, again, if you want to get high, marijuana does it. I don't need it as, you don't need it as a boat to get to OD town. It's like, you don't need to get there at all. Don't go there.
It's a prescription. It's got to be safe, right?
Right. That's an excellent mentality to have.
I'm trying to teach the kids.
Yeah, I think most people who try and do pot humor are either doing what Jeremy was talking about, half baked, or they try so hard
so
to get
old
it's
now, too,
it
Do
is.
they
but
write
it's
it when they're high?
I
would imagine.
Yeah,
Or is it like, this would be funny when we're high?
I think they write ideas when they're high, and then they have to try to figure out how to make them a movie when they're.
I can't imagine you
sober.
can write good words when you're high. I don't know because again, never have been.
I'm gonna get high for the next Cheech and Chong album. Just so you know.
All right.
And then I'll tell you if it
I'm gonna get drunk. Just generally.
today.
Yeah.
Come on,
Just a 411.
Just a rundown of what I'm up to. My back's a little sweaty, and I'm gonna get drunk.
Science.
Oh Christ. I don't know what I actually like. The thing I liked about this too is some of the really incredibly long sketches are actually really funny. Pedro Man at the Drive-In.
Yeah.
Have you heard?
Because they break it up with the trailers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true. They do a bunch of fake trailers, fake commercials, and everybody does fake trailers and fake commercials, but I think that's the first time Dan and I ever heard that kind of crap. Yeah. And, the production on these is really damn good for the most part. It's, they play, because stereo was, still a fairly new technology, so they were doing what they could with it, and yeah, that's kind of what Dan and I modeled our comedy off of, which... Yeah.
Interestingly enough.
Which is very, very funny, seeing as how two people who don't smoke pot would be into two people who didn't, everything they did was about that in one way or another. Yeah. It's not like Carlin, who could talk about smoking marijuana and baseball in equal amounts. Right. You know what I mean? Right. It's that's what they did. They talk about drugs, that's what it's about. Yeah. Now it's about that.
Yeah, and the fact, the fact that the takeaway that Jay and I had from this was not, oh, pot's funny, but oh, comedy is funny. We could do comedy like this.
Right.
And it didn't even cross our minds to be like, hey, maybe we should do pot because they're doing it.
Well, no, but
takes the teeth away from that argument a little bit.
Well, no, but I agree with you, and especially when you come to it at a certain age, especially if you come to it at an early enough point, you're not like in that world where it's being offered or it's around you, because it's the same thing. It's like when I was watching all the Python stuff, I didn't want to be British.
I did, yeah.
But no, it was good enough to...
One guy offered it to me.
Because it was good enough just to be able to do the accent and then get out of it. You know what I mean? It's like, I didn't want to, like, actually have to, like, sit on the top of a double-decker bus.
Meat mutton.
Right, you know, like all that crap, you know, that's have bad teeth.
Yeah, that's uncomfortable.
Right? I have to use the word pram. What does that even mean?
It's a kind of, you spread it on toast.
No, that's Vegemite.
It's a sort of rudimentary Lay's.
Is that what that is?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
It's
made of jam.
So I mean, I never saw the same way. I never saw it as something that you had to be into to like what they did.
Right.
It was nothing, and even if you liked what they did, it wasn't anything they had to go to afterwards.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. Because the comedy itself was funny. You know, it wasn't relying on you understanding the culture, you know, understanding when you're high you do this.
Right.
You know, the comedy itself, even without that, works.
Yeah, and kind of the same way. It was when I was into Firesign Theater, which was about the same. You know, it was about that 12, 13 when I started getting into it and listening to it. And it was that same thing when I came back to it and finally found people who would listen to it when I got to college. And they're like, "Oh man, you listen to this stoned," and it never occurred to me that might be something to do.
Right.
I was like, "Oh,
yeah, no,
this stone." It was difficult enough when I listened to it the first time.
Yeah.
My dad had like 3 or 4 Firesign records. I listened to them all the time.
They're great. I mean, I used to just literally sit on the den, the floor of the den in my apartment.
I mean, come on. Bear Whiz beer is funny, sober, or high, or anything.
Exactly. Yeah.
Bear Whiz beer, straight from the river.
It's funny. Erzatz Brothers Coffee, the real one. Look for the can in the plain brown can. You know, like that's fantastic. Yeah, and that is one thing, listening to this again, like, I'm amazed at the limited range Tommy Chong has. Because I always thought, to be honest with you, I thought it was 50-50. Mm-hmm. You know, like, because when I listened to them, I was like, I think Cheech is the better one. No, I think Chong is the better. It's the same with Python. You have your one favorite, or, you know, like any duo or group, which Smothers Brother, well, everybody likes the same Smothers Brother better. Right. You know, because that one's easy.
Yeah.
You know, or the Marx Brothers or whatever. Mm-hmm. And,
Gummo.
Yeah.
Gummo.
Yeah, really? All right. Crapo. Yeah, he was the best.
Yeah.
Illegitimate, but still highly underrated.
It's because he was black. That was why. I'm sorry.
I didn't want to say it out loud.
No one ever did, and that's the problem.
Now, we are offering a reward for the pusher. Now, if there's anybody here has any information about a drug pusher, be it your brother or maybe even your mother and dad, if you give us your name, we will give you a reward for turning in the drug pusher.
Hey, man, how much is the reward, man?
Well, actually, son, I'm not... I can't disclose the amount. It depends on how much drugs are confiscated.
Well then, but you have to tell the guy's name first, huh?
That's right.
Oh, hey, well, I want to turn in Billy, man.
Hey, what are you talking about, man?
Hey, man, you saw me that shit, man. Wouldn't get a fly high.
Hey, I'm gonna
day,
cream
man.
you, man.
Well, come on.
You're a stoolie, you puke.
Well, come on, man. You saw me that
I'm
stuff,
gonna
man. The other
get
day,
you,
man. It's
man.
nothing but oregano, man.
Yeah, so you got to talk.
No, but honestly, it's you know, it's interesting because I always thought it was 6 of one, half dozen the other. Like they both were contributing the same amount of stuff. But when I got to understand more about writing comedy and listening to it, and those people, you know, who just the stuff that sustains from year to year, it's amazing that, you know, Tommy Chong's got 2 voices, the lower voice and the slightly higher voice, and that's it. And
the high guy and the slightly high guy,
right? And Cheech, he does some great accent work.
Mm-hmm.
You know, his characterization stuff, I mean, it's a little over the top, but totally in keeping with what was going on at the time, and I think really good. Like, not, again, I still think the person who surprises the most when you go back to look at it is Richard Pryor.
Mm-hmm.
When he's on his own and doing this character stuff, I mean, you don't even know it's him half the time. You think there's somebody else in the room. But, I mean, Cheech is great. It's amazing. He has a much better range than I thought.
He's a really good actor. I was joking about the Nash Bridges.
No, you weren't. Damn it.
But, like, I love him in Tin Cup. It's one of my favorite sports movies, and he's a really good performer in that.
And not to say, and like, again, this is not one of my favorite movies, but it is The Bartender in Desperado.
Oh, yeah.
He's phenomenal.
Yeah.
No, he's a great actor.
And they're not done. They have a movie in production for 2012.
That's what I heard.
What?
Yeah.
Cheech and Chong?
Yeah,
movie?
and
Oh, Christ.
We'll see if it actually happens. I think that's the name of it. Oh, Christ. Cheech and Chong. Oh, Christ is the name of it. And it's actually got a white guy rolling his eyes, just like you did. That's the cover. That's
I had heard originally that it was...
But the clouds that he's in, the old gods, the clouds that he's in, are pot smoke.
Oh, really?
I had heard that it's an animated film actually based on their album.
Really?
Yes.
That's actually not a terrible idea.
Yeah.
No, they're getting too old to watch them. It's the same, like, they might... I mean, yeah.
Well, we'll see.
We'll see.
And it depends on how you do it. It really does.
I know,
honestly.
and the drug movies aren't done. Like, the drug culture movies, Harold and Kumar got another one coming out, and they do well, so it's not like they're gone.
To be honest with you, I am actually excited
I am
to see the new Harold
very
Kumar.
much.
Well, hold on. In the movie theater.
Yes.
Right.
I actually want to see it in 3D because I think they're going to do so many stupid 3D things.
I completely agree. I think it's going to be
like all those like bad sci-fi ones where like the guy would intentionally take the pointer and go right at the guy, like for no reason. Or what's that great? Oh damn, the
Paddle ball. In the wax
the
museum.
SCTV. Where they did the 3D episode, and it's John Candy and all those guys, Andrea Martin and all those people. But, like, it was just a mundane episode while they're doing normal things like they're in the commissary, but then somebody would take the fork of food and go, right to the camera and back and just, like, look at the beef on the foot and
That's
and that was
awesome.
it. And
I think that whole movie is going to be like that.
I can't wait.
I think it's...
Yeah. That should be fun. But, yeah, again, I don't think... Again, it's hard to do drug humor, and to do it well is almost impossible, I think.
Well, it is. It's character stuff.
I think what we have to do is, because that's my favorite stuff, is when they're in character and they just allude to it. I love the Dave sketch because it's not about, doing drugs. It's just the world about it.
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, the scenario could be anything. It's
Sure.
like, I don't want my mom to catch me coming in late. Or whatever it is, it's still funny.
Yeah.
Dave's not here.
I am Dave, man. Dave? Yeah, Dave.
It's such a good bit that The Simpsons could do a bit on that bit, and it's still, that's funny. He's so high, he doesn't even know it's Dave.
That's right.
Homer's not here, man. All right. Again, it's like if you could do a bit on a bit.
Yeah.
Right.
You shouldn't have been smoking all that pot before you did this.
You're being an idiot. Jesus Christ. I don't get the reference.
It was good.
I don't understand.
Woo!
Yeah,
Do people really squint? Do people really sit there and cough a lot when they do pot?
Yes.
I'm gonna ask a bunch of questions about when they do pot.
Okay, well,
Well, they potterize, as they call it.
Well, Officer Jenkins, Kevin. When people do the pot, usually
ask
two
innocent
things.
questions.
No, do people get squinty eyes and they turn all bloodshot and all?
Do they get paranoid?
Yes, that's all real.
Yeah, do they want to eat
That's
stuff?
why it's funny.
but I want to know if they cough like that.
Yes,
I've
and
never
they
seen
do.
it happen.
Yeah. It depends on how often people do it. If you're watching an expert who's never smoked pot every single day, he's not really going to cough too much.
Right.
It's just like someone smoking regular cigarettes, breathing smoke into your lungs and holding it there.
Coughing actually...
Inhaling fire usually has a negative repercussion.
Carcinogens.
I don't understand.
That's all of it.
That's the end.
That's the end of everything.
People do this, too.
And for all you people at home,
off.
he's hitting his arm. He's not doing the other thing.
They tie off. They do,
Yeah.
You shoot up.
Okay.
Never done that.
No.
That's how some people smoke pot, by tying off and shooting smoke.
Well, they just tie off their arm that smoke it.
Right.
That's what not very smart. They're already... Those are the ones that are already high. Yes.
Those are the ones playing charades as they're smoking. 2 syllables.
It's occurring to me that this is a comedy greatest hits album and you don't see those.
What?
A comedy greatest hits album. It just doesn't happen. There's no need.
Because I mean, honestly, and again, we talked about this before, but it so bears coming back to why are there no comedy albums? Why aren't people doing them? You know, there are plenty of groups of people that do sketch. And plenty of it would work. Yeah. You know, I mean, like, there are Mr. Show sketches you can take and put on an audio track would work just as well. Yeah. You know, like the shoe cords, the lie detector, shoe salesman one. Mm-hmm. That one would work as an audio track.
I think it went away with the music industry. As the music industry died and people stopped buying albums in general.
But people still produce music.
Yeah, but the market's not there for it anymore. The amount of money that is being generated, revenue in general for music, just isn't there anymore.
Well, you know what you need?
And you're saying, so, I mean, as small as the comedy was, so then now it's gotten even smaller.
Exactly. Because for the album. So they're finding other revenue streams also. They're touring a lot more. They're doing podcasts, which allow them to get people out for their shows. Right. You know, when they record an album, stand-up, they just throw the album out there and just let it go, and then they see what happens.
Right. Well, what you need, because I think one of the things that got video sketch comedy, like, it's, you know, grown, is YouTube.
Yeah, sure.
Is there an audio YouTube?
Yeah.
There is.
No, I mean, yes, I'm agreeing with you.
Okay. Like, really? Because this is the first I've heard about it.
Right.
No, yeah, I know.
MP3.com was almost that.
Right, but you still had to be...
We were big in Australia on MP3.com.au.
But you still had to be an artist, and you had your albums. Yeah. You know?
Right,
it wasn't like
That's
YouTube
true.
where you just throw something up there and see if it sticks.
Right.
It's a kind of a different environment on YouTube.
And people have a lot less patience and what's the attention span now. Things are up there for a week. If you're like, oh, I went viral for that week, and then no one remembers you in 2 weeks. It's like, okay, the sketch was good. Now you just have to keep going. Maybe you can build a fan base by having new stuff all the time and that pressure to constantly produce new material. Yeah. Where a record used to be enough for a couple years, and you could tour off that record. Yeah. And now you get people like Louis C.K. and, you know, some of these guys Patton Oswalt, who only record their CD album after their tour's done. Because the next time they go out, they don't want the people who've just bought the CD to hear that same stuff again. Yeah. Where Cheech and Chong, where these artists would be okay with that, and the audience was okay with that. Yeah. I think it's an audience shift.
I think true, right. True. I think
because,
that's
I mean,
true.
You know, again, it used to be that was part of the fun, is that you go see somebody perform and you've heard some of the stuff on the album. And you get other stuff as well, but you knew some of the jokes. And I want to hear him do the blah, blah, blah. You know, it's like, say get her done again, do it.
I still feel when I see comedians. I see comedians and I'm like, oh, it's great that I'm seeing stuff I've never seen before. But when I saw Tim Minchin a couple weeks ago, I love seeing the stuff that I know. It's like, oh, I love hearing this new stuff, but I came to hear these things that I know.
Exactly, yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I think that's true. I think the audience is short attention span issue. They're like, I'm listening to a comedian. I want to hear some new shit. I don't want to hear your old shit. You're not funny anymore. Bite my butt.
Yeah.
Did I say that?
Yes, all the time.
Bite my butt?
Bite my butt. You see, because, part of the enjoyment of an album sometimes is the anticipation of it coming out, but at this point, they just put it out as soon as it's done, and you don't have to go to a place to buy it. I know I'm sounding like an old man right now, but I mean, there's definitely something to be said for the physicalness of holding an album in your hands, opening it up, looking at the album cover, putting it in or on, whatever.
I mean, 9 times out of 10, I didn't know it was new or anything else until I went to the record store. And the record store was a great place to go once a week or once, every other, whatever it was, just to check to see what was out and what was happening and, anything else. And nowadays, it's not the same clicking through iTunes and seeing what they say, what's hot.
Yeah, exactly.
You're interested in this person? Here's everything that, like, it's nice that it's there.
Sure.
But, you don't get to share it with anybody because they can't play it on their computer. You know, it's like nobody's going to sit and listen to it. Come and sit around my computer. Like unless you're in high school.
Sure. Yeah.
And for everybody in high school, thanks for listening, kids.
Yes.
Yeah, I think everything's going to go cloud-based soon. Where you're going to buy something, it's going to be up there in the space. And I mean space by outer space. It's just going to be a physical place where it just goes up there. All this means
because there'd be a lot of debris floating around.
Everything's going to just go to the cloud, and it's just going to sit there. But there's issues that legally have to be worked out with that too in the cloud stuff.
Yeah, and I think if you got some sort, if there was if YouTube did like an audio,
sure,
I think that there could be something said for that. That could help even bring back things like radio plays and stuff.
VacuumTube.com.
Yeah.
That we could call it. Yeah.
That'd be cool.
No, and I think that
because there's
Hold on.
there's
Daddy.com.
but there's radio plays. There's the fun of doing the Foley and stuff, with that, the not having the need to make everything practical and just recording actual footsteps of doing Foley. There's something to be said for that, and we've kind of lost that because there is no real channel for that. Yes, there's podcasts that probably do that, and I know there are some that do short stories and stuff, but it's not the same accessibility because you have to find that podcast, and then if you want a different one, you have to find a different podcast.
Hey, man, we don't need a radio, man. We need a gas station.
Well, tell you what, brother, how about a watch, man? I know y'all ain't got a watch, because if you had a watch, it'd be nighttime. And nighttime ain't no time to be in this here neighborhood, man. So how about a watch? Hey, Hippie, how about you? You want a watch?
Oh, no, thanks, man. I'm not into time.
Well, dig, man. Come on, man. I'll make a deal on this watch. You gotta buy it, man. It's a heavy watch.
Hey, man, we don't need a watch, man. We just need a... Hey, tell you what, man. Why don't you help us push the car, man?
Push the car? Get your mama to push the car, bro. Hey, James, hold up, man. Hold up. See, man,
Hey, man, what are we gonna do, man? We gotta get out of here, man. Hey, man, look at there's the cops, man. He asked us to give us a push.
All right. Hey! Can you pigs give us a push?
Hey, man, don't say that, man.
Oh, far out, man. They're turning around.
I know, man. Here they come on, no.
Well, I think we've just changed our market now with comedy, and that's now you as a comedian, you as an artist have to go find your audience.
Sure.
They don't find you anymore.
Right.
Before there was a limited selection. The selection was here. You go find what you like. And now there's just so much, and you're inundated with so much stuff that it's you as an artist go and say, these people like this, and I'm kind of like this, so I'm going to market towards this group.
Right.
And, and if you like the radio, albums, things like this, then it should be those artists put on a show, do it, and go, who else is listening to Firesign Theater? Who else is listening to Cheech and Chong still and Monty Python? And let's market towards them.
Right.
Let's do a monthly thing where we go towards them once a month, 6 months and stuff like that, and then have it out there.
It becomes hard, though. I mean, not to bitch about it, but like having to have new content so frequently. That's why you have to do this. This is like just talking, or sometimes these are just improv. But to like crank that shit out, I mean, it's good in that you are going to get one good one every few, but like
exactly. But that's why why so much of it is shit now.
Yeah,
that's why so much of it is diluted. Is that there's so much they throw it out there. It doesn't work on Funny or Die. Well, then it's done in a couple days, and we'll just come up with another one.
Right.
But if one of them sticks, look, you're great after
and
one of them.
And keep making the same thing.
Instead of waiting 6 months and coming up with 12, 13 bits that you know work well, recording them, and then you can live off that for a while, performing it live. Just going out there and showing people, here it is. There's the album in the back. Pick it up.
And there is, to me, there's something that, I mean, I would imagine or hope that if we were to start, because again, we are going to do a comedy album sometime soon, I just don't know when. Bob Oldfunk said he'd do it, so that'd be kind of fun. But to actually say you have a fucking physical album as a comedy album now is kind of a rare thing, so it might stand out. Again, wouldn't have the money behind it. Nobody's going to put a huge bunch of money.
And in the days that comedy's going like this, and I'm snapping my fingers. In the days that
they can actually hear snapping.
Yes. In the days that well, I didn't want them to think I was slapping my arm again.
This is a podcast for the deaf.
In the days of comedy going so fast, you need slow humor.
Sure.
If that makes sense. Where it's slow to develop. Where it takes 2 hours before the joke comes in, that's dumb.
That's Saturday Night Live.
It starts really
slow. That's slow.
Yeah, but I think there would be something said also for the whole, YouTube of audio as well, though. Like not the whole album production thing, but having a centralized location where sure it's inundated, but it's all. Everyone has an equal playing field to get their stuff out there. And for every 5 crappy ones, there is one good one, and someone will find it.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, right now, like you said, they're out there trying to find their audience. This one comedian, and then there's this comedian over here trying to find his audience.
Yeah.
Where if they were both on vacuumtube.com, the people are there already looking for comedy.
Yeah.
So that would solve the problems for the people who need the instant fix. But it's not like you yourself have to constantly be coming out with new stuff because there's more than one thing on the site.
Sure, yeah. I would hope. Otherwise it would not be a very successful.
Not a very successful site at all. But at the same time, work on it. Don't just say, "Hey, I have an idea. Let's record it in 5 seconds and put it on there."
We just have to find ways to adapt and adapt and love the technology and go with the technology. Lionsgate, about 2003, 2004, when YouTube was getting going, getting a footing, they said, "Look, instead of pulling any of these clips from our films down, we're going to throw ad content on them and allow them to be up as long as they're less than 10 minutes. And it brought in a lot of revenue because they realized that people weren't trying to pirate stuff in 7-minute snippets. They were fans of the stuff. So if you take their type of... I don't know how this relates to Cheech Chong. If you take their type of marketing idea, their ideas, and run with it and go with yes, we're going to do this. We are going to allow people to take this snippets, certain amounts, then I think that you can also help find your audience, but still build what you want and stick with your art, which would be, if your art is audio comedy.
What about penises? What about bong penises?
Bong penises.
And penis dragons.
Yeah. You gotta tickle the balls.
This is what I'm told.
Yeah. Sorry, so I went off on that.
No, we all did.
Edit that out if you need to.
And okay, so Jeremy, do you have anything to say about viral content online?
How it pertains to Cheech and Chong?
Yeah.
Just protect yourself, kids.
Thank you.
You don't want to get one of those auditory STDs.
Yeah, bag it and tag it. Wait. How it works?
Tag it. What do you tag it?
You put it on.
Yeah.
And
Sphinx with a
he's
Y.
spray painting. He's not just poo-pooing and hissing.
Yeah, no, I'm spray painting. I'm tagging.
Like a gangster person.
After I bagged it.
I've never heard Dave continued, though.
You haven't?
It's just the same thing. It's as if they've been doing it for like 2 hours, and he's still trying to get it.
That's how bookends the album.
Yeah.
And he gets arrested at the end, isn't that it?
I think so.
Yeah.
Get him?
Because Dave's not here, man.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad he's out of prison.
Me too.
Dave?
Tommy.
Yeah.
No, he
he did a movie called Evil Bong, right?
Yes, he did.
What?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
No,
and Evil Bong 2, by the way.
Oh, no.
Good enough for a sequel.
Jesus Christ. Tommy Chong.
Tommy Chong, what are you going to do, man? He's not Orville Redenbacher, and you know what he's going to be advertising. This isn't difficult here, boys and girls.
Very true.
Yeah,
so you don't know what Orville Redenbacher is advertising? I'm trying to understand the statement you just made. Tommy Chong is not Orville Redenbacher. You know what he's advertising. Why is Orville Redenbacher advertising if it's not popcorn?
It's popcorn.
Explain.
Marijuana.
But I'm saying he's not advertising popcorn.
You don't get the hidden context of Orville Redenbacher munchies. It's like all about feeding that craving.
I hadn't jumped there, but that's a good one.
And he looks at you. He gets me all freaked out, man. I know that he's judging me quietly when I'm smoking up.
Tommy Chong?
Orville.
That's crazy.
Yeah, he is.
Mr. Butterworth, Mrs. Butterworth is much more uptight.
That's very true.
That's
Orville.
I will not argue that.
You don't even know her first name. Just no, it's Mrs. Damn it. No informality here at the breakfast table. What other sketches on that one?
Well, Sister Mary Elephant. Did we talk about that one?
No, we haven't.
Oh, why didn't we talk about that?
How many albums do they pull from for this? Is it 3 or is it more than
Cheech
that?
and Chong, Wedding Album, Los Cochinos, Big Bamboo. So
four.
four.
Four?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because this compilation's from 81. And it looks like
Where
their
are they
first
from?
album was 7. Well, Tommy Chong's Canadian. He's half Chinese from Canadian.
That explains a lot.
From Canadian. And I mean, I believe Cheech is actually from LA.
Yeah, East LA.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and
Chong
Tommy Chong used to be in a doo-wop band.
Yep.
He's old enough. He's way older than.
And I don't know if any of you have heard, but he does drugs.
Really? What kind of drugs?
Oh,
No, his girlfriend's name is Drugs.
Yeah.
Oh.
And they intercourse.
They intercourse? That's good. That's good to
After
know.
doing the drugs.
Mm-hmm.
I did a play on words there.
That was good. That was good.
That's right. Does Sister Mary Elephant in any way remind you of your classroom, Jeremy? That's how I'm going to segue.
Wow.
God damn it, I got
You mean
nothing, man.
Like the one I teach in?
Yeah, uh-huh.
No, absolutely not.
Absolutely not? No drugs? You don't have to scream?
No, lots of drugs, but I swear constantly. But
Okay.
they actually listen to me.
Oh, okay, that's fine. What about you, Mike? You went to Catholic
I
school.
went to Catholic school, and yeah, I didn't have any nuns teaching, but they were, pretty strict, just screaming at you.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, I remember having to write my name 500 times on a piece of paper. Forgetting to write my name on the top of a thing and turn it in. I
Goodness.
That is
and
what
then I did
Jesus
it in
would
cursive, and my friend turned me in because it had to be printed because it takes longer. And he was like, he's writing in cursive, it's quicker. So I had to start over.
I beat the crap out of him.
Please tell me.
Did you have to do Michael?
This is what it was like in Catholic school. My brother got suspended for saying fart. He got suspended for saying fart. My dad went to school to pick him up, and he's like, some kid was stuttering, reading, going, the pig, the pig. And my brother goes, the pig farted. And so he got suspended. My dad goes to school and goes, we're going to go home and fart. It's like, oh, you showed them, Dad, the priests and the nuns.
Is your brother from South Boston?
Yeah.
Farted.
He fatted. I don't know how that's in my head. That's how he says it. Wicked fat.
Your brother's Casey Affleck.
Holy wicked farting right there.
I did not.
So retarded.
Not Ben.
Farted.
No, Casey Affleck.
No, that would make me Ben.
That would make you Ben. Okay. No, your brother's just Casey Affleck. You're not Ben Affleck.
No.
Casey Affleck is just your brother.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to explain to you.
Basketball Jones, I got a basketball Jones, got a basketball Jones, oh baby, ooh. Yes, I'm the victim of a basketball Jones. Ever since I was a little baby, I always be dribbling. In fact, I was the baddest dribbler in the whole neighborhood. Then one day, my mama bought me a basketball. And I love that basketball. I took that basketball with me everywhere I went. That basketball was like a basketball to me. I even put that basketball underneath my pillow. Maybe that's why I can't sleep at night. I need help, ladies and gentlemen. I need someone to stand beside me. I need someone to set a pick for me at the free throw line of life.
They're performing on March 10th.
Ben and Casey Affleck?
Yeah. Cheech Chong at the Bow River Theater in Biloxi, Mississippi.
Oh, let's go.
Let's go.
It's the only tickets that are available.
Are you kidding me? No. What the fuck, man?
I know.
What can they be doing now?
They're doing this. They're doing exactly what's on the album. They're doing the same stuff. They're not doing anything new. I mean, and as much as I like what they do and wish them success,
sure,
I really think Tommy Chong is past the point of remembering anything new.
Anything new, yeah. That's a very good point.
You know, it's like, I'm sure Cheech, like, I got this great sketch about it. He's like, I'm having trouble with the Dave one. What's my line? Just say Dave's not here, man. Wait, write it on my hand.
I'm not here, man.
No, goddamn it. I mean, like, literally, you could probably write a Cheech and Chong script about Cheech and Chong rehearsing to do a Cheech and Chong show.
Absolutely.
And it would probably be about as, you know, it'd be the same stuff.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, Cheech is like, I don't need this, man. Don Johnson, I got him on speed dial. I don't need this crap, man.
I was just thinking also, because they have a car on the cover, and that's got nothing to do with anything, but Pedro Man at the Drive-In is one that Dan and I listen to a lot, but we listen to it in a busted-out old Ford Fiesta.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, like, so we would sit and, like, act it out. We had it, like, on a little stereo. Had we smashed the Fiesta at that point? Had we destroyed the Fiesta?
At that point, yeah.
It was Dan's stepmom's Fiesta, and since she was not there
take
anymore,
a step back
go
and
right
say
ahead.
how appropriate it is to be listening to Cheech and Chong in a car called a Fiesta?
Yep.
Thank you.
Good, right?
I just like that.
And is kind of busted out and ghetto.
Well, the busted out ghetto thing, that's...
It didn't have, at that point, Mike had taken the engine out and it had no tires on it.
Now you're being a little racist. I was just going with the Fiesta.
And there were dingo balls in the
Okay,
thing, right?
I just wanted to play with
No
Fiesta.
passenger seat.
Was it on blocks?
I was Mexican.
No, just sitting on the ground.
Just sitting on the
It was
ground.
just sitting on the ground. There was no intent of driving it again.
Yeah.
So
It had a blanket around it and a hat on top.
Just a hat.
A hat, a sombrero,
So now that's
and a bottle of
little more
tequila
racist.
in the hood.
and it kept
Because I'm an
saying it
awful
was
person.
too tired to go work.
Okay.
Yep.
Right,
And there were all
And
of its
then-
children were stuffed in its trunk.
Oh, I hope you're writing all this down for Cars 3.
And-
There you go. Because this is it. This is your $1 million idea, guys.
Yep,
Mr. Lassiter, if you're
there's the
listening.
cable guy and what's his ass go to Mexico,
Yep.
and
right.
they meet the
They meet George
Ford
Lopez Carr. They
There it
meet
is.
They meet the Cheech-
Carlos Mencia Carr, of course.
Because Cheech was already in the first one. You've already got your
right.
link. There
That's
you go.
right. See, God.
Yeah, see, and he's a
I-
lowrider. See, there it is.
Was he really?
If that's not offensive enough.
He was a lowrider?
Yeah, of
Oh,
course.
Christ. All right. Was he a lowrider? Was that how he did he have an accent?
Yes,
Hey, how's
probably.
it going? I'm a low rider.
Yeah, that's
What?
He said what? Really?
What?
He was a G? All right, that's good to know.
There's a Fiber1.com Cheech Chong short video that they helped Fiber One introduce a new 90-calorie brownie with Cheech and Chong's Magic Brownie Adventure.
Jesus Christ.
On Fiber1.com.
Oh my god!
That is some old man type shit.
Right there, yeah.
Wow.
And man, I got a brownie. It's full of fiber.
God.
Fiber's not here, man.
Fiber1.com
Fiber's not-
/ Magic Brownie.
See, that's crazy. Except now, Tommy Chong, he's not high. It's just Alzheimer's. Oh. Where's Dave? Where's my son? I'm cold. This isn't funny anymore, guys. All right, this is getting really depressing.
I don't know where I am, man.
Oh.
Yeah, Parkinson's humor isn't as universal.
No, it's not.
It's a lot shakier. But
Wow.
Thank you.
Wow.
I wrote that.
That was a
right
long
now.
walk for a very
right now.
short punchline.
Are there any other bits in this that we haven't
They're
mentioned?
Basketball Jones,
We haven't mentioned.
which
that.
is all.
I do think.
Let's do a
make
black guy voice.
I do think Let's Make a Dope Deal is incredibly funny.
It's
too.
brilliant.
It cracked me up.
There's good accent work
For
by
me
Cheech.
again, for fake weird game shows, the auditory thing. This goes right along with the Firesign Theater. The diseases when they're. Well, what's the name of the damn show?
Listen to that one since I was like 12.
Which album is it on?
It's
Is it on the one I heard?
No, no,
it's
it's not. Don't Crush That Dwarf. It's,
Okay.
I think it's Waiting for the Electrician or
someone like him.
Yeah.
I had that one on tape.
But basically, it's Beat the Reaper. That was the name of it.
Oh, I
They
have heard
inject
that.
somebody with various
That's right.
diseases, and if you can
He has to identify the disease
in
before he
10
dies from it.
seconds, you get the antidote. And if you don't, you just have to deal with it. And of course, he makes it to the last round, and of course, you can't identify that he has the plague. Ends up killing everybody. But I thought this one was great. The 50 keys, how many you want to pay? All of it, man. It's just like instantly, all of it. Can I walk away now? No. Oh, man.
And of course, behind the other two doors are
What?
narcs.
Oh, really? Then no. Then I'll take the Reds. I'll take the Reds. No, you can't go back. Oh, man.
I think I learned a lot of my early voices from this. I mean, like,
Yeah.
if you listen to some of Dan and my really shitty sketches from when we were 13, like, I was trying to do Tommy Chong voices all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, but I think that's, again, what you have to do.
Yeah.
You know, when I did Firesign Theater, I tried reproducing it as best as I could. You know, it's the same thing with trying to do a Buster Keaton Fall, or, a W.C. Fields, sneer, or, just one of their voices, Firesign Theater voices, Carlin's voices, like all of that stuff.
Sure.
I think, instantly you have to try and do it.
Yeah, it doesn't. I mean, that's if you wouldn't be drawn to it otherwise, and you wouldn't be any good at it.
Yeah,
if you
you
didn't keep
learn-
trying what everybody else has done.
Right, you learn from that and turn it into your own thing as time progresses.
Right.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember.
Hopefully.
Wow.
Yes.
Or at least make it your own.
And Cheech Marin has just signed on to do a mid-season replacement show with Rob Schneider on CBS.
Ow, my soul!
Called what?
It doesn't say.
Two assholes
it says
on
Rob
TV.
Schneider. He will play Fernando, Rob Schneider's father.
Nice.
What? Is Rob Schneider Hispanic?
He can be.
Yeah.
He's the man of 1,000 things that all look vaguely the same.
Yeah.
You can be a prostitute or a man in a woman's body, or a woman
a man of 1,000 very
This is a
slightly
similar
ugly
They
people.
reshot the pilot with Cheech. They had someone else playing the father. And they
Probably
reshot
John.
it
We
too,
just kept
but
saying,
No.
"Who's that man?"
It was originally John Amos, the dad from Good Times. And,
that would have been great.
It was just not working. I don't know why.
And then they
they called Goldblum, and he was already on
Oh,
something.
I was going to say John Stamos. They called next
yeah.
because then they
We're
rhyme.
not doing anything.
That's all I
Are
got.
you talking about the Bible guy?
Yeah, he hasn't been
doing
busy in a
much.
few
No.
years.
Broke, dude.
I think he's dead.
You sure?
The guy who wrote the Gutenberg Bible?
You sure?
I think he's dead.
I don't know.
But the one from Three Men and a Baby?
Yeah.
Johann.
You don't want him.
The little lady one.
No, you don't want him
Three
either.
Men and a Little
Either
Lady.
one. You don't want either one of them.
Police Academy.
They should remake 3 Men and a Baby. That'd be an awesome remake.
Why?
But they make it like hardcore with like Arnold Schwarzenegger, Sylvester Stallone,
Right.
Jason Statham, and they're trying to
That's
thinking-
Expendables 2.
Pretty much.
Baby Boogaloo.
Crispin Glover.
Wow. Wow. Did the break-in reference in there. Well done.
It's good. Can I ask why there's a quarter on your keychain?
Yeah, I got it back as change one day, and there was already a hole in it, and it's my birth year. So I was like, I'll just throw it on my keychain.
For those of you listening at home, this is when the podcast breaks down.
Yep.
And
this is
Jason
where it
starts
gets
mentioning things that he sees
Okay.
instead of sticking to the topic at
The
hand.
reason I have this is my Sears rewards card.
Okay,
It's
what
on
does
my
that get
keychain.
you?
Well, just if I spend a certain amount of points, it's
Again,
Sears.
we're not advertising for Sears. You're in for
Yeah, we're
Murray's
advertising.
Clucking Stuffs. Fucking
Public
what do
library
you?
card.
Mr.
I
Cheap
do have a
Feathers.
Borders
goddamn
card
it.
if anybody needs it.
That'll be worth money in a couple of years.
I think mine's still on my keys too.
That's great. Let's all compare our keychains.
Right, like a library
I don't have my work
card
ones
or
here.
anything else that has to do with books.
I only have 3 keys on my keychain. What do you guys have? I only got 3.
I have many more.
I have an apartment key which I don't live at anymore. And I have my
You don't live
car
at the key?
No, I don't live at this apartment
Oh,
anymore.
okay.
But I still have the key. But I got friends who live there, so I keep the...
Well, but
The
so you can,
spare.
if you need free stuff.
Yeah, like a TV. Anything like that.
That's why I keep all of my old keys. And if I ever turn into a junkie, I've got all the money I need.
That's awesome. That's
Ever.
a good idea.
I just want to mention officially that Earache My Eye was covered by Korn.
My mama talking to me, trying to tell me how to live. But I don't listen to her because my head is like a sieve. My daddy, he disowned me because I wear my sister's clothes. He caught me in the bathroom with a pair of pantyhose. My basketball coach, he done kicked me off the team. Wearing high heel sneakers and acting like a queen.
Really?
Really?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Yes. And they did a pretty
It's actually really good. I like it a lot.
Wow.
Yeah, they did an awesome job.
And
of
I'm
that.
not a big fan of Korn.
No, but that was the only thing that ever impressed me that they ever did.
That's pretty cool.
I used to actually listen to Korn when I fell asleep at night.
All right, that's
That's
exactly why I hate them.
I almost got laid because of doing that.
What?
Yeah.
Well, of course,
That's for the Corn podcast.
in her defense, she was dead. But walking over a dead body.
And it still took one.
I just hurt my spirit doing that.
Oh, Christ. Okay, what I was going to ask, and I did actually have a segue, but then we got off on quarters and keys somehow.
That was your fault.
Keys work? God damn it. So Dan and I had an interactive sort of thing with this album a lot. We listened to it hundreds of times. Did either of you... What? Did either of you two ever listen to anything like sort of in that way where you tried to like play it out or like you... I don't know, where you have a specific memory of listening to something over and over again, and that's like, it gives you... Because I don't know, listening to this brings me back instantly to 1993. So, I don't know.
Do you have something you listened to a lot where you had like a thing where you did? I don't know.
A thing? Do I ever listen to it?
But,
Or a thing where I did?
Yeah, we did a thing with
This is
Well, it's like how we always
stuff.
listen to this in the car. We kind of did the same thing.
This is going to sound
So
weird.
it's a very vivid memory from when you hear the sketches.
This is going to sound weird, but when I was this is really weird, but a summer between my 6th and 7th grade year, me and my brothers watched Revenge of the Nerds Part 2 probably 100 times.
That is one of the saddest things
It was
ever in my life.
it was awesome for kids. They were boobs
You know what?
in the movie.
I'm going to disagree with you about that. It was awesome, bit, but you keep going.
It was amazing, and but literally we watched that more than anything. And every time it's on like anything Revenge of the Nerds, oh, is it part 2? And I flip it because that's the one with the rap at the end. It was really cool. Yeah.
Oh God!
But I will watch that probably more than any other movie I've ever watched in my life, and I haven't seen it in 20 years.
Right.
But I could still say I've watched that specific movie more than any other. We bought it because we never returned it to the video store. So
So we bought it.
yeah, and then
By default.
And then
I
we
did that.
finally dubbed it when we returned it by hooking up the 2 VCRs together and then playing it, and so we could watch it over and over and
And
over.
that was before the copy protection stuff.
Yeah. No, I think I've got definitely, like listening to Don't Crush the Dwarf Family and the Pliers, it's definitely in my, my den, when I was a kid was where I got it. Where I
Ooh, a
just listened to
den.
it.
Ooh, fancy pants.
Yeah, well, we had 3 rooms.
Oh.
My brother shared one, so there you go. But I like for a comedy album, one that I can specifically say like this took up a summer of my life was, I think it was the summer in between like 6th and 7th or 7th and 8th grade or 5th and 6th, somewhere in those 3 years, where Andrew Dice Clay's album came out, the first one, and everybody, and again, like I went to summer camp with a lot of Long Island, upstate New York, idiots, basically.
Yeah.
And I mean, like they found this thing, and and we must have listened to it like 70 times a day, every day. There was an old woman who lived in a shoe. She had so many children. Her uterus fell out.
Oh!
See, there you go. Thanks for putting the tag on. I probably have not listened to that album since that summer, and could maybe do the entire thing with the weird pause that comes at the end of the tape before it starts going on both sides. I probably could do that. But yeah, that one took up a whole... I mean, like, that was sitting out on a dirty wooden porch with, children who refused to bathe. And
That sounds like a weekend for me now.
And that was one of those.
Well, talk about Dice. Do any of you guys have any albums that you listen to and you're like are like kind of not ashamed that you listen to it, but realize how bad they were? Like Dice, there's so much offensive stuff now that you wouldn't say half that stuff in public at all to anybody.
Yeah, but I mean, like, to be honest with you, I knew most of the offensive stuff was offensive when it was going on. The fact that people were laughing at it, and there were a lot of them laughing, didn't really make it okay. Like, I still remember, and again, because I can remember this, there's a line in that same album where he's talking about, like, bad Asian drivers or something like that, and he says, like, you can blindfold these people with fucking dental floss. And even at the age I was at, I'm like, that's not funny. That's not a bit. That's just kind of mean.
Yeah.
You're not going anywhere with this. This is just like, look at this guy. Look how stupid he looks. It's like, there's no bit in there. You're just being mean.
There's a lot of that with the early Kinnison stuff.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Yeah, like, the bit he does about AIDS, to me, it's like, when I listened to it then, I was rolling. He's like, yeah, straight people can die from AIDS. Name one. And back then, I'm like, yeah, he's so right. He's so funny.
But you were a kid.
But now you're like, oh, my God.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think about comedy. I don't know if there's any... I'm sure there's some comedy I grew out of.
Yeah.
Mostly watching, because I watched way too much TV as
What
a
did
kid.
you grow out of?
I'm trying to think what that would be, and it would take a long time
Well,
to think
the
about
one
it.
thing I can think of scenario-wise like that actually comes back on itself, and it's one of my favorite shows, but if you've ever watched King of the Hill, there's an episode where Bobby is looking through his parents' records, and he finds the Ray J. Johnson album, and he listens to it, and he's going... wait, this is funny? Wait a minute. And literally, and they put on, and there's actually a clip. You can call me Ray, or you can call me Jay, or you can call me Ray J. And literally, and you can see Bobby, he's got his brow all furrowed, he's like really trying. You know, it's like, what am I missing here? You know, and then like finally lets it go, and it's funny. But to be honest with you, there's certain things that you look at and you're like, that's not funny.
I can tell you right now.
And that's also a personal thing. It's like, I don't think anything Bob Hope ever did was funny.
Yeah.
You know, ever. You know?
He did this great bit with Kirk Cameron once.
Is that on Growing Pains?
He actually sang a song.
Bob Hope wasn't Boner. Who was? I'm getting Bob Hope confused with somebody. I don't remember. It's not important.
Ray Stevens. I grew quickly out of Ray Stevens. I thought he was the shit when I was a kid. I'm thinking back.
I agree with you.
Mississippi Squirrel Revival is still kind of funny. I'll give that some credit for having any religiously funny thing. But holy shit, like he does songs called Osama Yo Mama now, and I just sort of realized, holy crap, I'm listening to this. It's the same dude. It really is the same dude. It's just the times have amplified. Sadly, yes.
They never stop. Just because nobody's listening doesn't mean they stop.
I know. I did that on Gallagher recently.
Apparently that's not even him. That's his brother.
Gallagher was on the Mark Maron podcast, WTF, recently.
It's his brother. He's got the same last name, Gallagher.
Really? But was it Gallagher? Because they sued each other. They got sued.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's a big legal battle.
It was him.
Yeah.
It was
and Gallagher,
him.
I always kind of like Gallagher. I'm going to be honest with you. I thought that shit was funny. When he comes out on that big wheel, and, you know, the first time I saw the Sledge-O-Matic, I'm like, this is stupid, but he's really going for it.
Right.
You know?
When I was younger, I watched, like, one of those things, and, like, I had seen Sledge-O-Matic, and as a kid, like, you know, and they would only show clips, it's always just Sledge-O-Matic. So that's what I thought he was. That's all I knew of him is Sledge-O-Matic. And then I actually saw his stand-up.
Deep political satire.
Well, not
and
all
it was cutting and dark. No, but he was funny.
Sledge-O-Matic's got nothing on the Bass-O-Matic.
Okay, well, now you're comparing apples and oranges, all right?
Well, it's comparing melons and bass.
That's actually, yes. Honestly.
As far as the O-Matic comedy...
And you're comparing a real mustache with a fake mustache.
Yes.
What are the pocket fishermen?
What about it?
I wanted something to say.
Jason wanted to say something on his podcast.
Oh, goodness.
Look at me. I run a podcast.
He would say.
That's what he sounds like.
That's exactly.
That was actually me, Jeremy. That wasn't actually Jason.
Yeah,
that's my
not to confuse you all.
How can we bring this back to weed?
Fucking know, man.
Well, it sounds like we're all high.
Well, the Blind Melon Chitlin, Blind Melon the band did not name themselves after him.
Oh, I was wondering that.
There's actually was a jazz guy named Blind Lemon.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And they both got their name from the same thing, just juxtaposing letters.
All right. So, yeah.
You connected Gallagher with Cheech and Chong.
That's amazing.
That was awesome. Yeah, Melon. Oh, I get it. I came around to it. That was cool.
I was wondering whatever happened to the B-girl the other day. That's got nothing to do with this. I'm sorry.
She's all grows up.
Oh, really? She grows up and she's grown up and she's grown up.
No, she still wears the costume.
Does she? That's right.
Every day.
Yeah. She's a beekeeper.
Oh.
She married the boy from the Nevermind cover.
Really?
The baby.
She's like,
And they have naked babies.
she just had to have that. Oh, Christ. Okay, well, I think we might have...
I think we're done.
I think we're off topic enough that this is over, but...
It kind of works for a pot base.
It certainly
to
does.
start meandering.
Let's just, yeah. So if you haven't gotten high listening to this, I apologize sincerely.
We should all pick marijuana strain nicknames.
Oh, yeah, good call.
That would be great. See, the reason I said this, ladies and gentlemen, is because for the two people who don't smoke marijuana, for at least this should be funny, because I want them to come up with something that sounds more like a bubblegum flavor.
I was just going to say double bacon cheeseburger.
That's awesome. I would definitely smoke the double bacon cheeseburger.
I would, yeah.
I smoked the Jamaican hash tokes.
That sucks.
That was
by the
horrible.
way. That's terrible. That's a
Yeah, but
you have to think not pot.
Oh.
Yeah, not pot. It's got to sound like it's something.
Jim Sullivan. Oh, wait.
Jim, no.
Oh,
you're
close.
Human name.
No, he's a real guy.
No, but that's what makes it work. That's why I thought that's all right. What's yours?
Welch's Strawberry Time. Yeah, Welch's Strawberry Time.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah.
Jeremy?
Green heroin. How about that?
That's a good one.
That sounds like a cheat.
I would smoke green heroin.
See, you would. I wouldn't.
would.
I can't handle that. Come on now.
Fortran.
See, now that sounds like an erection pill. I don't.
It is a programming language.
Yeah, it's a programming language.
All right, well, so then
Duh.
I'm putting a mix on that one.
3.5 inch.
Can you see Dirty Hippies going in to order that? That's really all you have to say.
Kind of.
No.
No?
No.
Steve Wozniak? You can't see him.
If you I'll have some of the Steve Wozniak.
That's true. That's very true. All right.
That shit'll fuck you up.
Oh, and it's really great on a segue, just like Steve Wozniak. All right. Well, everybody, thank you for joining us for another...
Sticky chum.
Sticky...
That's better. I'll give you sticky chum.
That's a good one.
I'll smoke the sticky chum with you any day of the week.
Thank you guys for joining us on whatever this was, and have a good thing.
Yeah.
Bye. Comedy on Vinyl is recorded at Fort Awesome Studios in beautiful downtown Burbank, California. It's a production of Stolen Dress Entertainment. Check out stolendress.com for more of our podcasts, our books, sketch comedy, video comedy, audio comedy, music, probably. Our producer is Mike Worden. I am your host, Jason Klamm. I am also the editor. Please check us out at facebook.com/comedyonvinyl, twitter.com/comedyonvinyl. And please, definitely, if you haven't already, subscribe to us on iTunes, rate us highly, and make sure to like us anywhere somebody's got a little thumbs up button.
My daddy, he just told me 'cause I wear my sister clothes. He got me in the bathroom with a pair of pantyhose. My basketball coach, he don't keep me on the team. For wearing high heels, sneakers, fixing acting like a queen. Gonna tie my back up to a tree, Gonna tie my back up to a tree. Gonna tie his back up to a tree. As long as I have my bitch to wear my fly gear. It don't bother me if people think I'm funny. 'Cause I'm a big rock star and I'm making lots of money. Money.